Hey you guys, this is Alish from GainMediaLab.com. Welcome to my exciting world of live audio mixing. So, you're the DJ, right? Nice to meet you. I'm going to be your sound engineer for tonight. I'm going to give you a few tips to make sure that your show goes the best way possible. So you can raise the roof and shake those booties and move that bass and... Wait, was that right? Never mind. Anyway, if you want to know more, stick around. Let's go! Alright, rule number one, and this is the motherlode. This is the big one. Stay away from MP3s. Again, no MP3s. Just make an experiment. Take your MP3 file and then find a WAV file of that same song. Put it in your mix and then put it into a great sounding sound system. Turn up the volume and then listen, A/B. You will hear that the MP3 files will take away all of the dynamics, most of the high end, a lot of the low end, a lot of the punch, a lot of the attack, and it doesn't even matter what the bitrate is. You can say, oh, I have a high resolution MP3, it's going to be fine. No, it won't. Whenever possible, work with non-compressed formats of audio. And I cannot stress this enough. Maybe in small clubs you can get away with it. On your phones you can get away with it. But on a large scale sound system, no can do, siree. That won't work. Rule number two. Louder is not better. Sometimes it's much, much worse. The way sound systems are set up when we have DJs coming on is that we tend to get a level from the DJ during the sound check and we say, okay, this is going to be a max volume level, and then we set the limiters of that sound system to protect the sound system just slightly above that level that we got in the sound check. Now, if you're one of those DJs that just turns up the volume and says, whoa, louder is better, it's going to move more people, it's going to fill the room with energy, it doesn't work that way. It will get more compressed, it will get limited, you won't get the bass response from the sound system, and it will sound much worse than it would if you had let, the system sit at the levels that you had arranged during soundcheck. Most of the famous DJs that tour around the world on a daily basis will know this rule and will obey it and regard the sound system as an extension of their mix, not something they need to fight against. So make sure you know where those levels are and stick to them. Rule number three, reduce volume on stage. This is a big one. I have set up sound systems and monitoring systems for DJs where their monitoring system and the PA that they get blasted with on stage is sometimes larger than the PA for the room. Don't do that. First of all, it will screw up your hearing. Second of all, it will screw up the sound in the room because, the room gets filled with this ambient sound that is not directed at the audience, and they will sort of get confused, especially if it's a small club, a small venue, where the sound is coming from, and you will lose punch, you will lose attack, you will lose a lot of the energy that, might just be there if you hadn't blasted away with those volumes on stage. So make sure that you take care of yourself, reduce levels on stage, make sure you use levels where you can hear yourself, but not overdo it. On that same note, use hearing protection. It's just smart, why not do it? You can thank me later. No. I don't need anything from you. Maybe just a postcard. Wait, do you guys remember what postcards are? Tip number 4. Use channel faders to equalize the levels between tracks. There's nothing more sinister than DJ that is blasting on from track to track, and those tracks have absolutely different levels. One is really, really loud and pumping and just moving the stage, and then the next track comes on, it's just bleh, because it's softer and it doesn't adhere to the same levels, right? So use those channel faders to make sure that you pretty much stick to the same levels throughout your performance. What that means is you don't necessarily have to turn up the channel fader all the way up for every track. The fifth and the final tip in this episode: consult with your sound engineer at the event about technical specifications. Sometimes you get to the gig and say, this is going to be a great sounding live show that's going to move the audience. But the sound engineer's instructions from the organizer were, keep everything at low levels. We just want to make sure this is a nice sounding corporate event or whatever. Do yourself a favor. Introduce yourself, maybe buy the guy some drinks, and talk about what the event is going to look like. Then you can manage your expectations and also maybe suggest some things from your end. Conversation goes a long way. Alright guys, we have ended this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit those notification keys. Visit GainMediaLab.com for more delicious content, mix great shows, and take care. Bye! You're gonna thank me later. Much later. But please do, thank me. Either in the comments below, subscribing, that shameless plug. Take anything away from this video, take this tip of advice. Tip of advice? Piece of advice. Bruh.